Welcome to the ministrry podcast. So, welcome to Ministry Youth Podcast. This is our, actually officially, I would say 2. I named the first one 1.1, so kind of a restart. So this is the second one. And so first of all, I just want to introduce kind of who we have with us today. My name is Russell Martin. I'm Director of Student Ministries in Texarkana, Texas at Williams Memorial. And so my co-host from last week, and here also is Judd McLeod.
How's it going, everybody? I am. It's good to be back with you guys. I am at First Methodist Church in Pearland, Texas. Having a great week, having a good time down here. Just got off. We had the big rivalry game this week in my group, Pearland versus Dawson High School. So had a lot of fun with that last week, and just glad to be back here hanging out with you guys. Awesome.
And also joining us for the first time, and hopefully not the last time, is Chad McElveen. McElveen. So so McElveen. So Chad.
I've been mispronouncing it the whole time. So. Yeah, I'm Chad McElveen. I'm the youth director at Cedar Bayou Grace United Methodist Church. Probably one of the longest names in the South District. But yeah, so I've been here for almost 2 years now.
Awesome.
And I also want to say happy birthday, Judd.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Another year prettier, the good old 39. So.
Ooh.
Yeah,
you're gonna be there for a while.
So what I want to do is kind of I'm going to turn it over to Judd and to interview you and to talk about games and such.
Well, Chad, as you know, we kind of part of this podcast kind of came from the Facebook page, the the TXUMC Youth Directors Facebook page, and you threw up a couple times, and you've even thrown it up on Russell's site. Some of these really cool PowerPoint games, and you're of course creative guy, and how do you mainly use games in your ministry?
I guess a lot of it's just an important thing. Kind of going with what Russell was saying earlier, just saying how games it just plays a big impact. And one thing is, all the youth ministries I've been in and have worked in, and just one of the things that the youth really, if I ask them what they enjoy, they'll say they enjoy the games. And I know that with that, they also mean the fellowship with one another, and they also mean kind of the other stuff that come with it. And but a lot of them, if you survey them, a lot of our youth will sit there and say the reason why they come is to play games, to hang out, and just to have fun with each other. And so it's just a great time.
You use these upfront PowerPoint games. What do you think is some of the advantages of using those types of games to lead into lesson or just to have some fun with your group?
Sometimes it is just to have fun and just to be random, and but a lot of times I used it in a way that kind of what gave me the idea to use them was when I was in youth ministry. Our youth director would show some little quizzes like that. I think he bought them. I don't know what they were called or where they were from, but he had some, and we just kind of did them every now and then. And it was pretty much just a way right before the lesson, because we might be playing games and stuff. I was like, all right, now it's time to come in here and worship. And it was just a way to get everyone to kind of be in there and get seated and facing forward, and it kind of helped you stay focused. It was fun. But then it was a way, because then after that we would go into a song and we'd go into the message and other stuff. So it's just a kind of a good way to get people in, having seated. They can still play a little game to have fun and just kind of help them focus.
Do you create most of your own PowerPoint games? I know that I have seen them too, where I have used the ones off of Download Youth Ministry. I've yet to use yours yet, but I've definitely thrown it in front of my adults a couple times, actually having some fun with it. Mm-hmm. But do you create most of your own, and how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, all the ones I've shared with Russell and I put on Facebook and stuff are ones I made. Now, some of the ideas I may have gotten, or I may have been inspired from somewhere. Like, I've done a trucker term quiz, like terms that truckers use, like the slang and everything, and I have a quiz of what those are. I remember doing that like a while back when I was in youth. Like my youth director had one of those. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just looked it up and just made it myself. Some of them I've just made them. Yeah, I just get on PowerPoint and I just make them slide by slide and ways to reveal the answers and. I mean, and a lot of it's just kind of random. They just kind of pop in my head, like this. Over the summer, I was watching the World Cup, and watching all the different countries, I thought of creating the world flag quiz. So like the vexillology quiz, and so who can name the countries and what flag represents it, and there's just a whole bunch of other random ones like animal names, and so it's just sometimes they just come up, and I just think of, oh, that'd be a fun one to do with the youth, and it's really random, and the youth, they let me know how random they are and how much they don't like it because they can't answer any of them. So when I had a quiz over Canadian football, they were just going crazy, but it was fun to me. So.
Josh McElveen, Canadian football connoisseur, with us today. How do you use the games? Do students get a chance to answer them individually? Do you break them up into teams? How are some of the best ways you've used those quizzes?
Most of the time I will have them get in pairs. I'll have them get into like find a partner, because I just feel like it may be more fun with a partner, and then they can work it out together what the answer is. Sometimes I'll have them do it individually, and sometimes if we have I don't know, if I want to speed it up, or if we have a really big group. We've done this at church camp with our the whole camp. You get you have someone hold a sign up that has A. You have someone hold up a sign up that says B, C, and D, and they go to the corners of the room, and you have everybody walk to the corner of what they think the answer is. And you could do that by eliminating them if they got it wrong, or come up with a point system or whatever. And then we just go through it. If they're working in partners, we give them a piece of paper, piece of paper, and a pencil, and they just write down their answers. And then at the end, we'll go through the answers, and then we'll have them number off how many you got. If you have at least one right, remain standing. So they'll remain standing. As we dwindle them down, we get down to the final few. And if we have a tiebreaker, then we do a tiebreaker. If not, then. And then we give out a random, usually this is a really random prize. I mean, I just have old CDs that I just have extra of, or some old books, or some old other stuff, or sometimes I'll have candy or something. I'll just give those out, and just let you know, sometimes they don't care, because this last week we did one, and someone won. I gave them a book, and that book's still up in our youth room, so I guess they didn't really care to keep it, but they were happy that they won at least, so...
You mean you're going to have to give away that old Jesus Freaks CD maybe sometime?
Yeah, probably.
I'm in. Let's go.
I love those ideas. Those are actually really great ideas, and I'm totally looking forward to stealing some of those. With your quizzes, have you all, when it comes to setting up, have you ever included audio, or is that one of the great parts about these quizzes? You need a projector and a laptop, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, and with us, we don't even use a projector, but we connect it to a monitor that we have, a big enough monitor, kind of TV screen, using some cables, and so it's big enough for people to see. But essentially, they could just do it with a laptop. I mean, if you have a small group of people, a small group of students, I mean, it's a PowerPoint. You just put it in presentation mode or whatever, and you can just go through it just with your laptop, just as long as everyone can kind of see the answer choices. And yeah, so I mean, it's pretty simple. That's all you really need to do, and just kind of work through it yourself a couple of times. And once you kind of know what you're going to do, then present to the youth. And
that's great. And so I know you put a couple of them up on the Ministry to Youth homepage. We definitely appreciate that. And you've put some up on the Texas Youth Directors Facebook page. Anywhere else we should look for some of these coming soon, or anything like that?
I mean, I do want to start putting them up regularly. I mean, I know I was sharing them with Russell for a while, and then I probably need to get back into that, and then I usually kind of share them after I've done them with our youth group, and once I feel like, okay, that went well, I'm going to share it with everyone. And I mean, I've only shared a few, and I have about 30 of them. And just some of them I've used in like several years ago in my last youth ministry, and then just yeah, and I plan to share some here soon because I have like at least 2 of them that are kind of Halloween themed that I've already done in the past, and so I'll probably be sharing those as Halloween gets closer. So.
Well, man, we definitely appreciate what you have shared with us so far, and I'm looking forward to using them. I think I'll probably go ahead and incorporate one pretty soon this week. It just sounds like too much fun, and I think it's a great way to have some fun with our kids here at Pearland for sure. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for letting us pepper you with those questions with it, man.
Get those, and I'll put them up on. I'll get them up faster than the Godzilla one. I kind of like that got lost in summer, and so I tried to tie it in with maybe the release of the DVD, but I kind of fell down on that one.
Yeah.
One of the last things we do before we go and say goodbye is Picks of the Week, and this is an app, a story, a blog post, a game, or an idea, something that you have found that you have used. I'm not even going to guess what Judd is going to say because last time I knew exactly what he was going to say, and he completely changed it for me. But I will let him go first. So, Judd, what's your Pick of the Week?
Well, I know as youth directors, one of the things that we love to do is hang out with kids after a long trip, right? I mean, that time sitting in the parking lot, and, have you called your parents yet? And they're like, oh, was I supposed to call my mom to pick me up? We love students, but, with that time, it's sometimes we're ready to, we're kind of ready to go home. I found this app. One of my volunteers actually told me about this way back last year whenever we went to Midwinter, and the name of the app is Glimpse. I'll hold up my phone and kind of show you what it looks like right there by the Google Maps, and Glimpse is spelled G-L-Y-M-P-S-E, and it's a great app. The thing that you do with it, you can set up, when you set up a Glimpse, you can, I always copy it to my clipboard with the destination whenever I'm getting ready to leave. Just a few weeks ago when we had our district MYF over in Baytown, before we got ready to go, I set up a Glimpse and I put in the destination of First FUMC Pearland. Send the Glimpse out through my texting program. We use Simply Text here, but it sends out a message to my parents that, hey, for you parents who have kids at the District MYF, click on this link and you'll be able to get an ETA of exactly when we'll be at First United Methodist Church Pearland. It gives them the ETA. They can actually track you as well. They don't have to have the app. It will open up in their browser, whether it be for an Android phone or their iPhone. And the cool thing about it is, ever since I've been using it, I pull up to the church in our caravan, and all of the parents are there. I don't have to field 100 text messages while I'm driving saying, hey, when are y'all going to be here? Or, hey, when y'all are going to be here? Of course, we always try and give them that estimate of time when before the event even we leave for the event, but it definitely lets them see where we are on the way back. The first time I really used it in a large environment was on the way back from Lakeview this year. I was riding the bus this year, so it made it even better. And the parents were able to track where the bus was the whole time. And we got back to the church, and all the parents were there to pick up their kiddos. And within 15 minutes of the bus arriving, all of the students were picked up and headed home with their parents. Just a great way to get some information out there to the parents. It's been a great app for our program, and I just absolutely love it. I send the Glimpse, and I've even told some parents about it. They're looking forward to using it when their daughters start dating as well, so that way they can track where their kids are at the whole time on some of those as they get closer to dating age. So great app. I definitely recommend you using it. It's pretty easy to figure out too. If I can do it, it's easy for anyone to figure out. So
awesome. Chad, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I've recently, so I'm doing the youth ministry certification at Perkins in January, and I did my first year last year, and so I'm already starting to prepare for this year, and so I've already read they have a reading list of books you need to read, and so in your assignment you need to do before you start it. And so one of the things we're doing is we're reading this book, and I found it, even though it's an assignment, I am really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to do this even well after an assignment, and it's called This Day, A Wesleyan Way of Prayer, and it's by Lawrence Hull Stuckey, and I guess it's Stuckey, I don't know, but but what it is it's a way of you go through it each month, and it's set up by day 1, day 2, and it goes to 31, and if there's days that don't have 31 days, then you kind of adjust a little bit, but you just kind of go through it in one way that one cool thing about it is you just kind of go through it each month. It repeats itself, which is kind of a good thing to help you memorize it and just kind of remember some stuff. But then the scriptures you read kind of go by the lectionary, so it kind of changes. So really, you can kind of go through it for about 6 or so years and not repeat anything if that's the way you go at it. And so yeah, we're doing it for an assignment. We have to write our reflections, kind of like a journal on it, and our thoughts. I'm on day 7 with it because here it is, October 7th, and then but really I'm really been enjoying it. It's motivating me to set aside at least 30 minutes of time just to be in prayer, and it's not just prayer time, but it's also devotional and reading scripture, and just, I don't know, I've really been enjoying it. So I would recommend that to anyone just for their own time, just helping to motivate them to get the time of prayer and devotion on their own.
Awesome. Well, mine is this app called Clash of Clans, and I found it. Oh, sorry, wrong. Mine actually is something that's been around for a long, long time, but every once in a while I run across someone who hasn't used it. Do you guys use Animoto? Have you guys used Animoto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad, you haven't? Animoto.com. Animoto is a website. It's all web-based. You upload your pictures, or it will now pull from Dropbox, from Facebook, from Instagram. It'll pull pictures straight from those things now. You load them up. It has a bunch of royalty-free music, like instrumental music or backgrounds or stuff, and it just makes a cool video. You choose a theme. There are free themes. There are different levels that you can pay. But for me, I can go and on my app on my phone, I can take pictures for a night of youth, and then I can load 30 pictures or so up in there, choose a theme, choose a background music, and not too long at all, we have a full video. So that's kind of the real quick way to put up a video. And Animoto.com, and it's been around for a while. I know there's some people who don't know about it, so that'll be my pick. I'm getting feedback from somebody.
Sound like a robot.
Yeah. So, but thanks for coming. Any closing thoughts from you?
No, I just think it's great, and I've enjoyed your website ever since I've discovered it, and I've even used some of the ideas, and I think that's just probably one of the best resources. Some of the best resources, like our Facebook group and your website, just people sharing what they have and what they've done, what's worked and what hasn't worked, and I think this video, what you're doing, this podcast and everything, is just another way of doing that. So I think that's just a great idea. And yeah, thank you for having me on, and thank you, Judd, for inviting me. And I'll be glad to be on here again and replace Judd if you want.
Judd, what do you got for us closing out?
Man, I'm just glad that, it's always fun to be remember and be reminded to be humble for all the blessings I have, and know that I'm that replaceable to go out and do what God needs to be done. I appreciate you guys for that. But no, had a good time. Once again, Chad, it's always good to see you and hang out. Appreciate you so much for what you're sharing and what you're doing over there in Baytown. I had a couple of your kids in my cabin this year, and so it was great to hang out with them, and great to see the work that you're doing in your student ministry over there. Thank you so much for that, and look forward to hanging out with you guys again soon.
With that, we'll see you next week on the Ministry Review podcast. Check out what else is going on, and keep sharing your ideas. Thanks. Bye.